All right, so here, first step here is distribute. What always comes after distributing? Combine like terms. That's the number one mistake people make on these lessons. So make sure you don't forget that part. So when we distribute, 4 times 3x, 12x. 4 times negative 1, negative 4. Now bring everything else down. Minus 2 equals x plus 5. Now the like terms need to have the same variable and exponent. In this case, the like terms are negative 4 minus 2. If you put those together, you're doing it just like you see them. They equal negative 6. Again, bring everything down. Now the problem is you're trying to get x by itself, but it's on different sides of the equal sign. So you got to move either the 1x this way or the 12x that way. Which one do I teach you to move? Smaller one. So let's go minus x on both sides, which equals 11x minus 6 equals 5. So far, so good. Now it's a two-step equation. You're going to notice most of these questions end up always at a two-step equation at the end. So here, add 6 to both sides, which leaves you with 11x equals 11. Last step is always division. When you divide by everything except what you want to leave there. So you're dividing by 11. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. X equals positive 1. That is letter C. Any questions on that? We're good? Please ask. I'll pause it. Answer any questions you have. All right, 2 parentheses. 3x minus 1, bless you, minus parentheses, x minus 4, greater than 7. Now look at number 1 and number 2. The only difference really is that this one has an inequality symbol, that one's an equal sign. You treat them both the exact same. Solving both is identical. The only difference is if you end up dividing by a negative on both sides, what do you do to that symbol? Flip it. That's the only difference, which none of these make you flip, so we can just solve them regular. So here we go. In this case, there's 2 parentheses to distribute to. What gets distributed to the first one? 2. How about the second one? Negative 1. That's another mistake people make on this. They forget that if a minus touches a parentheses, there's a negative 1 involved. Harold, you better be looking at me, Harold. 2 times 3x, 6x. 2 times negative 1, negative 2. Now, don't do anything else but the distribution on this step here. Negative 1 times x, negative 1 times negative 4, positive 4. Now we're ready to collect like terms. 6x minus x equals 5x. And now negative 2 plus 4, positive 2. Now we're at a two-step equation or inequality at the end. What are the 2 steps here? Minus 2 and divide by 5. Is it going to be dividing by a negative on both sides? So you just solve it, don't flip it. So here, minus 2 gives you 5x is greater than 5. Divide both sides by 5. X is greater than 1. That would be letter D. What? No. Yeah, mark around. You had a question? Okay. All right, number 3. A equals P plus PRT. In this question, they're asking you to solve for what letter? T. How many times do you see T there? Once, not twice. The only time you factor is when you see the letter you want 2 times. Since it's not there twice, you are not factoring on this question. Are you with me? So where's the T at? Right here. So we need to remove the P. First step is minus P on both sides. Now what's left is A minus P equals PRT. So far so good? Now PRT are variables that are touching. What operation is it when variables touch? Multiplication. Opposite of multiplication? Division. Division, you always put yourself in that mentality. Divide by everything except what you want. So we're going to divide by PR. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other, and that is your answer. Hmm? The work that I did, yes, of course. Absolutely. Mark it wrong. If they didn't put work, mark it wrong. Yeah, you don't think this is T equals? What do you think the PRs are? Not there. So it's T equals that. Don't make me write more for no reason. Use your common sense. You're a smart kid. All right. Number 4. All right, this is the first question with a fraction on it, so let's make sure we pay attention to it, especially if you struggle with the fraction section here. So on this question, right, normally I would tell you get rid of fractions on step number 1. But since this is a half, and when you distribute it, these are both even numbers, you know it's going to give you a non-decimal. So I can distribute, and that'll take care of that fraction already. Are you with me? So 1/2 times 6x equals 3x. Clean old number with no fraction on it. 1/2 times -4, -2. Now bring everything down. This is the point where you're going to get rid of the fraction. How many fractions do you see up there? Only one fraction. So you don't have to worry about what to multiply by. Do it by that denominator. So the denominator is 3. So we're going to distribute and get 9x minus 6 equals 2x. Remember, you're multiplying by the top, dividing by the bottom when you're multiplying to a fraction. That's what the calculator does for you. Now here, what's smaller, 9x or 2x? 2x, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, which I know a lot of you in class went the other way, which is fine, as long as you remember that a negative divided by a negative is positive. If you forgot that, you got it wrong for doing it this way, the other way. So here, minus 2x gives you 7x minus 6 equals 0. Now it's a two-step equation like all the others. What are the 2 steps? Add 6 and then divide by what? By 7. Now that gives us x equals positive 6 over 7. Same answer as backwards if you would have subtracted 9x, but you would have had to change the negative over the negative to be same positive answer. So far so good? Any questions on that? So I can move on to number 5? All right, number 5. Yes? What? No, no importa. No importa. In math, there's 100 ways to do it. So if you did it a different way, no problem. I don't mind. Well, what I do mind if you leave it blank because you copied off your neighbor. All right? Number 5. This is just reading these words that I'm going to write here. 4 times the sum of 8 and an unknown subtracted from, thank you, Samantha, that unknown. Now, first of all, how I taught you how to do these kind of questions is label the words right when you read them. So 4 times, I'm going to put a 4 and a little multiplication symbol there. Sum means what? Plus, but it requires a parentheses. 2 words require parentheses. Sum and difference. If it says plus, no parentheses. Some have to have a parentheses. Now, what goes in the parentheses is what you read after the word sum. Sum of 8 and the unknown, which I know it has to be a variable. So far, so good? Now, what does subtracted from mean in math? It's an order switcher, but that's not what it means. We'll get to that after. What does it mean? What does subtracted from mean? What mathematical symbol is it talking about? Minus. You with me? But it's an order switcher, so instead of x minus at the end, you know you got to reverse the order to x minus in the front. Now you bring down what you have, and you have the answer. Subtracted from is what makes you order switch. What other words are order switchers? Added to, subtracted from. What are the other two that I use often? What? Greater than, less than. Remember that? Also, any word that ends in er, that's a comparison word. Like shorter, taller, bigger, smaller. Anything like that is comparing. Comparing changes orders. All right? Now, what if this said another unknown instead of that unknown? What would be different here? Another letter. Very good, Samantha. Another variable. But since it says subtracted from that unknown, we know it has to be that one, the one we already labeled. You with me? All right, next question, number 6. It's a property question. Over here it says associative. That's what they're asking you to look for on the answer choices. Associative. How do you associate two numbers? If I say A plus B plus C right here, associate two of them. What does that make you do? Bring them together, right? Parentheses is what they use for association. How do we know we're friends? Because we're next to each other, right? That's the association that a parentheses does. We're not friends, you're a student. You get the concept here? So now, equals. Now, here's the big difference between the two words, associative and commutative. In associative, the numbers or letters cannot change position. So if it's ABC, it's got to be ABC here. Has to be. No switch of order. But the only thing that switches is the parentheses, the association. So the answer has to be C. Right? No, B. B. This person's wrong. Yeah. No, this is not an empty one. This is Carlos Morejon. You've been on fire today. Here. Now, let's talk about commutative so you can grade that one already. Look, what's commutative? Commutative is when the position changes. So what's A plus B equals B plus A? See how there's no parentheses there? Did the order switch? Yeah, if they move, it has to be commutative. So go to number 11, thank you, and put commutative, letter B. And then go back because we're going to keep going. You got it? Now, let's talk about a few more rules because those are not the only two that are going to show up. Let's talk about a couple more rules. You don't have to write it down. Just follow along. Try to answer if you know it. All right? What property is this? Distributive. A kneecap. It's a kneecap. All right. Distributive. Very good. What else? Six times 1 equals 6. You better not say zero product when they know zero there. Wait for it. You'll see a zero in a minute. 6 times 1 equals 6. Who remembers that? Anybody? These are like such easy questions to get right if you just memorize the little properties. Standard form is a format, not a property, right? Now, here's the hint I'll give. By the way, nobody got it correct today, which means everyone forgot what I did week 1, because this was week 1. So don't feel bad if you forgot. But now you're going to feel bad. Did 6 change? That means it kept its identity. Identity property. That's what identity property is. Now, try to fill in the blank here. What can I put this? What can I put here? Right? 0. 6 plus 0 equals 6. Did 6 keep its identity? So what's the difference between the top identity and that one? This is identity of Multiplication. This is identity of addition. You with me? Zero product property? No, we're not there. These are the basic properties that you learned at the beginning of the school year. How about this? I might have showed you, but we didn't like learn it until we did quadratic, because that's when you use it. All right. Harold equals Harold. What property is that? Ah, incorrect. Yes, Harold kept his identity. There's no operation happening, right? But that's a good guess. That is a good guess. But Harold equals Harold. I'll give you a hint. When Cáceres looks in the mirror, does he see Harold? What does he see? His own reflection. Reflective. Well, reflection or reflexive? Let me spell it correctly here. Reflexive. Either way, those are multiple choice questions. You'll never have to write it up. You with me on that? Got it? All right, let's move on. Associative is moving parentheses only. Oh, you got it. You got it. No. Those rules are something you Google and they all come out printed. Like I'll literally print one for you next class. Just remind me, and I'll print it. You take it home, put it in your notebook. That's properties. That's like there's no learning involved. There's just memorizing it. Yeah, I'll print it for you. Anything times zero equals zero. Well, you learned when you were like 2 years old, I think. All right. What number are we on? Layret. Number 7? Thank you. All right, number 7. This is the one that they say solve for P. On this one, A equals P plus PRT. Technically, you should feel bad for not being able to do this one. Because this question, same exact question we did 4 times this year at least. Because of course, and the bell ringer, I always use that because that is an actual, what do you call it? That's an actual formula that's used in real life. So I use it every time because I can. Yeah, but one says T, one says P. So here, what do we want to solve for? P. The problem is P is on 2 different terms, right? But what if it was P plus P? Can I put them together? Yeah, they'll be like terms there. P plus PRT, not like terms. I can't put them together. What if it was P plus 5P? I could do it. They only have a P on them. They're like terms. Are you with me? So on this one, you cannot put them together. The only way to see a P one time in this question is to factor it out. So P parentheses equals A. Listen, don't think it's gonna come at no cost, Kenny. Don't think it's gonna come at no cost. It keeps happening, it's gonna be a detention like I gave Handy yesterday. And you would have earned it. Alright, what's left here if we took away the P from both terms? 1 plus RT, not just RT. There's always a 1 next to a variable, even if you don't see it. So far, so good? Now, one more step. P is touching a parentheses, which means multiplication. So we're going to divide. So divide. What did I say that you're doing every time you divide? Divide by everything except what they're asking for. So what is everything except what they're asking for? 1 plus RT, the whole thing. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. And P equals A over 1 plus RT. Making sure he knows how to read my answer choices. All right, any questions on number 7? You sure? More questions means no work at the end because we make it to the end. I'm just saying. Number 8. We have 4x minus 2 over 3 equals 2x over 5. So look, on the left side, all we have over there is 1 what? Think about what I'm talking about. All we have on the left side is 1 what? What? 1/3. Where are you looking at a third from? 1 fraction. Isn't this whole thing a fraction? So it's one fraction. So even though there's more than one term in the fraction, it doesn't even matter. If the whole thing is a fraction, you can always cross multiply. Easiest way. What if this one wasn't a fraction? You put it over what? 1 and you do the same thing. You with me? But if let's say there was a 6 minus this. Can I cross multiply now? No, because there's not just a fraction left. You can only cross multiply when there's a fraction only there. Are you with me? So, now that we know this works, let's cross multiply. I know some of you did it without showing like the parentheses, which is fine, but I'm going to show it so we avoid mistakes. 5 gets cross multiplied to 4x minus 2. Since it's two terms, put them in a parentheses. 5 times 4x minus 2. So far, so good. Now, do not make this a fraction. Right? You don't eat equal signs. If it's there at the beginning, has to be there at the end. So you're going to put the equal sign, now cross multiply the other way. Got it? 2x times 3, 6x. Now this is a regular equation that we know how to solve. Let's solve it. We distribute, we get 20x minus 10 equals 6x. Now what value for x is smaller? 20x or 6x? 6x. We're going to go minus 6x on both sides, which gives us 14x minus 10 equals 0. Now it's a two-step equation. What are the two steps? Add 10 and divide by what? 14. Now this is not a valid answer because it's not simplified. Both of those numbers are divisible by what? 2. So the answer is actually 5 over 7. What'd you say, Mia? No importa. It gives you the same answer. That's the beauty of algebra, like of math, period. Like adding something, adding a negative is the same as subtracting. There's always multiple ways of everything. There's never one way to do it. So as long as they showed work, even if it's like a Japanese way, I'll take it. Probably better than ours. You with me so far? You guys laugh. You should see the math in Russia. That's real math. All right. What number are we on? All right, number 9. 3 over 4, parentheses, 20x minus 12, minus 7 equals x plus 5. So again, always check. 20 times 3 is 60. Divided by 4, 15. I don't got to do any crazy stuff. Negative 12 times 3, negative 36. Divided by 4, negative 9. Isn't that a lot easier to work with than what we had up top? Now, we're ready to collect like terms because we distributed. What are the like terms here? That's 9. That's not a 9. Negative 9 minus 7. If you put 9 minus 7, you get 2 and be wrong. Don't listen to Ian. Negative 9 minus 7, negative 16. You get it so far? This is review, so I'm sure you get it once you see it happening. But now you got to try to do it yourself on the EOC practice tomorrow. All right. 15x, 1x. Which one's smaller? 1x. So we're going to go minus x on both sides. Harold, look at the board. 14x minus 16 equals 5. Now, two-step equation. What are the two steps? Plus 16 and divide by 14. Now again, we got to simplify a fraction. I know the calculator does it for you. You just press the ABC button, it does it for you. But it's just easy to practice, and it's good to practice how to simplify because you're not always going to have that safety blanket calculator on you. Right? How much do I owe you? $5.76. Wait, let me get my calculator so I can count my money. Like, these are things you need for life. So you have to see it happen. It's important. All right, what are you going to divide them by? 7, which ends up being 3 over 2. Leave it like that. I have no problem with 3 over 2. What? Did you get 3 over 2? That's what matters. As long as you showed all your work. There's always a way to do it differently. One second, let me explain something here. 3 over 2. What's the problem with that? Why do you guys all want to change it to like 1.5 and stuff like that? That is a good answer, right? If you put 1.5, because instead of pressing ABC, you press the division button. If you press that button, you get a decimal automatically. If you press ABC, you get a fraction. If you see the answer choices are all fractions, why would you press this button? You understand? The whole point is like, if the answers are all green, why are you touching orange? You know, it's like common sense. So 1.5. Everybody that put 1.5 like that said, oh, perfect, that's the answer. Good job. How can 1.5 pizzas be the same as half a pizza? Right? Very, very different answers. Completely different answers. Oh, but it's close. No, it is completely wrong. You with me? You cannot do it that way. So keep that in mind. Improper fractions, as long as they're simplified, are no problem. I love them. All right? Next question. What number are we on? Oh, 10. Sequence question. So, 4, 6, 8. Hmm? On that one, if they didn't put work, that's fine. On this one, just because sequence questions are that easy, all you got to do is plug in what two numbers. What? Which one? On number what? That's okay, that's okay. No, on those, if they figured it out, they figured it out. If they cheated, I got to take the L. 4, 6, 8. Now, what are the two numbers you got to plug in here only? 1 and 2. But the smarter people are going to plug in only what? 2. Because 1 always gives you a tie. 2 can never be a tie. You with me? If 1 is correct, you can't be tied twice. So if I plug in a 1 and I'm tied, I can't be tied again. You with me? So 1 is always the tie, I'm telling you. So always try 2 first, you'll get the answer. You with me? So right now we're going to go with 2. The first number is 4. These are position numbers. The first position is 4. Second position is 6. Third position is 8, but I don't care. The only one I care about is the 2. Second position. So all we got to do is plug in the 2 to all the answer choices. X plus 3. If we plug in a 2, it equals 5. Is that my second number? No. So the first one's bogus. Next one, 5 times 2 minus 1 gives you 9. That's not the second number. Bogus. Let's go straight to the correct one, D. 2 times 2 plus 2. That's going to give you 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 2 is 6. That's your second number. How about the third? 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2, 8. It works all the way through. You don't have to test it out, but it'll work all the way through. All right, we already did number 11. Number 11 was B. It was commutative property. Now we get another fraction question here. Negative 3 over 5, parentheses 20x plus 15, equals 1 over 10, parentheses 20x minus 90. All right. 20 times negative 3 equals 20 times negative 3, negative 60 divided by 5, negative 12. Now we do the same thing to the next one. Negative 3 times 15 is negative 45. Divided by 5 is negative 9. Now on the other side is 1 over 10. So you multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. 20 divided by 10 is going to give me 2. 90 divided by 10 negative is going to give me negative 9. Now which one's smaller? Positive 2x or negative 12x? Smaller is negative 12. So because any negative number has to be lower on the totem pole than a positive value. So we're going to do plus 12x on both sides. That leaves you with negative 9 equals 14x minus 9. Now this problem is going to get a lot easier. You want to add 9 to both sides, which ends up giving you 14x equals 0. On this problem, If from there they just chose the answer, that's perfectly fine with me because everybody should know that 14 times what gives you 0? 0. 14 times anything, 0 times anything gives you 0. So make sure you don't mark it wrong if they didn't put like divide by 14 on both sides. hmm Like this only? Of course, mark it wrong. Está bien. Si nada más que tienen esto, no. Si llegaron hasta aquí, está bien porque van a ver que da 0. I'm fair with the grading. At least I think I'm fair with the grading. When I grade it, I think about those things. I'm not just a robot grading. So it takes me forever to grade. Because I'm looking at it and I think about Ian, I think about why he skipped number 7, if he knows how to do, like I look at everybody thinking about you as I grade it. So when I come in here, I have an idea if you know or you don't know. If you don't show work, I know you don't know. Or you throw away your work after you do it. All right. I'll forgive you. Just do the makeup one. Number what? 13. 6 parentheses x plus 5 minus parentheses x minus 4. Oh, what is that? Less than or equal to 7x minus 6. So here we go. 2 sets to distribute. 6 gets distributed, and we get 6x plus 30 as a result of it. The next one is negative 1 that gets distributed. That gives us negative x plus 4. Now we combine like terms. 6x minus 1x is 5x. 30 positive and positive 4 equals 34. So this is where we're at. What's smaller now? Our x's are on different sides. We got to fix that. Smaller one is the 5x. So we're going to subtract 5x from both sides, which leaves us 34 is less than or equal to 2x minus 6. Now it's a two-step inequality. Add 6 to both sides, and then divide by your coefficient. Are we dividing by a negative on both sides? Are we dividing by a negative on both sides? No, so we don't have to flip it. But this is a tricky one because your letter, your variable, ended up on the right side. Are you with me? Lazaro, read it. I got it. Read it. X, eh? English, please. Yes. Ian, come here, please. Let's practice, just to practice. Very good. Greater than or equal to 20. Why is it greater than? Because it's open to the variable. See, why is it greater? Because it's open to the variable. See how it's open? Which answer choice, pay attention, which answer choice is open to the x and has a positive 20 on it? D, letter D. So far, so good. We're almost getting there. All right, number 14. Don't tell him, don't tell him. Don't tell him, then it gets squirrely. What? What? Eso, súper mal. Eso copiaron y copiaron mal. All right. If you're gonna copy, do a good job copying. I just had a thought. Like, kids go through crazy missions to cheat in class. Like, I know you know students that cheat around here, right? Or around other classes. They go through such missions to cheat that a lot of times it's a lot more effort to do that than to learn it. Way more. Way more. You already know what we're looking at. All right, look over here. First thing in PEM does is what? Parentheses. I thought you were all gonna say P P P P. I was gonna make a joke. Here, parentheses. So let's clean up those parentheses first. That first parentheses, you're not distributing. The only time you distribute is when there's variables involved. If there's numbers in there, they could be put together. What's stopping you from doing -1 minus 3? Nothing. So that's what PEMDAS is. The only reason you would distribute is if you go look in there and there's a variable. Then you can't do it, so the next step is distribute. So here, -1 minus 3 is -4. So I'm bringing everything else down except my parentheses, because I'm going to clean up my parentheses first. Over here, in that parentheses, am I going to subtract first? No, because what needs to go before subtraction? Exponent. So 3 to the 0 power equals 1. Yes, which gives you 2 minus 1, like Adrian said, +1. Now, next step on the PEMDAS totem pole is E, exponent. -4 to the second power is 16 times 2, 32. So far, so good. Now, anything that touches a fraction belongs on top. So this is -6 divided by -3, which equals +2. -4 times 1, -4. Bring down your -7. Once you put all that together, we get to the right answer. 32 plus 2 is 34. 34 minus 4 is 30. -7 equals 23. So far, so good? All right, number 15 now. That should be number 15. So it's tricky. A lot of people try to distribute the 4 into the absolute values. It's easier than that. You don't have to make those numbers larger. All you do is divide by 4 first on both sides. Once you have the sticks alone by themselves, the absolute value sticks, then you can rewrite this equation 2 times. The first time, just like it is, minus the absolute value sticks, and then you're going to write it again exactly the same at the beginning, but the last number, that number on the opposite side of the equal sign, changes signs, becomes a -3. And then you solve both, those are your answers. So over here and over there, the only step to do is +2 on both sides. So what is +3 plus 2 going to give me? 5. And then what is -3 plus 2 going to give me? -1. That's the answer, the one that has -1 and 5, which is C. Stop making noise. All right. 2 over 3. Parentheses 2x minus 1 equals 5 over 6x minus 4. So in this question, what I did was, a million ways to do it, remember. What I did was distribute, which gave me 4 over 3x minus 2 over 3. And then I brought down everything else. Now I'm ready to get rid of these fractions. Between 3 and 6, where do they meet first? At 6. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 2, 6. 6 already matches. That's how you find these values. So multiply everything by 6, which means multiply the top by 6 and divide by the bottom. So 6 times 4, 24. Divided by 3, 8. 6 times -2, -12. Divided by 3, -4. 6 times 5 is 30. Divided by 6, 5. Don't forget the x. And then 6 times -4, -24. Now, there's no like terms on the left, no like terms on the right, so we can go straight to inverse operation. Which one's smaller, 8x or 5x? 5x. So we're going to subtract 5x from both sides, bring down the result. 3x minus 4 equals negative 24. Now it's a two-step equation. What's the first step? Plus 4. Thank you, Adrian. Plus 4 plus 4. That gives me 3x equals negative 20. Last step, division. Divide by 3. X equals negative 20 over 3, which is letter A. 3 more? All right, number 17, a lot of people made a mistake on. A lot of people. So watch this explanation here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just mark it wrong, don't worry. All right. 4 minus 2x plus 3 in parentheses. I got it. Thank you, Rosalind. Apúrate. All right, 4 minus 2x plus 3 minus 9x equals 3 minus x. That's right. Wait, hold on. Did I write it wrong? It felt wrong as I was writing. Hold on. 4 minus 2x. Okay, here. Equals 5x minus 9. What would I do without you, Adrian? I said, what would I do without you? All right, what do we do first here? Distribute. Who are you? That is correct. She said, no, 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 that's correct. Samantha, good job. Negative 1 is the first thing you distribute. The mistake in class was everybody tried to distribute that 4 all the way over there. You can only distribute what touches the parentheses. Yeah, you can't do that. So we distribute. Why don't we subtract first? No, because PEM does. Parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division. The last thing is plus and minus. So here, that brings down negative 2x minus 3. Bring everything else down as is. I saw people doing work and moving stuff down to the opposite side for no reason. Right where it is, you bring it down. Keep it clean. Now, what are like terms on the left side? 4, negative 3. 4 minus 3 equals positive 1. Plus 2x. I'm going to have to bump up a letter grade for you already there, Adrian. Plus 2x, plus 2x. Positive 1 equals 7x minus 9. Everybody there so far? Now, two-step equation. Plus 9 on both sides, which gives you 10 equals 7x. Last step, divide by 10 is incorrect, sir. Divide by 7. Always, language, always divide by whatever touches your variable, even if it looks weird. What if that was a wx? Then you're dividing by w. Don't think about it twice. Just do it. And you'll get the hang of it because you did it so much, then you're good. What letter is that? C? C, thank you. All right, we're on number 18. 4a minus 2b equals c minus a. All right, so in this question, they want you to solve for what letter? A. But now the problem is the same problem we ran into on almost every question here. When you want to solve for x, but x is on different sides, you can't. So over here, first thing you do is get them to the same side. What's smaller, 4a or negative 1a? Negative 1. So plus a on both sides is the starting point. Then you get 5a minus 2b equals c. Now this is something we can easily clean up. 2 steps only. Take away the term that's on the same side as your a that you want. So plus 2b gives you 5a equals 2b plus c. What if they put c plus 2b? Same thing. And now divide both sides by your coefficient, which is 5. So A equals 2B plus C over 5. Got you. Uh-huh. You want to check it? That's because they didn't finish. They just circled them right now. Mark them all wrong. Those are like those last minute. All right. Amire. Last question. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. But I'm automatically think trampa if I see you turning around. All right. 5 gets distributed. 5 times 2x. 10x. 5 times -1. -5. Now bring everything else down. Don't try to do more than one step there. Easy to make a mistake on questions like that. Now we got like terms. Like Harold said, 10x minus 9x, x. Well, you asked Samantha. I haven't heard you in a while. Now what, Samantha? What would you do? What would Samantha do? Plus x? That is correct. You want a free? B. 2x minus 5 equals 3. So plus 5, like Samantha said, she doesn't want to wait for me. Ready to do it. Equals 8. Last step, divide by your coefficient. X equals 4. All right. Flip, count how many x's you put minus whatever on top. Pass them forward. If you got an F and you want to change that grade, I'll give you a worksheet today. You do it for a homework, not in class, and I will count it. I'll come to you now. Uh-huh. What? What is this? That's not even the correct value. Like, I don't know. That's wrong. This is 15 and they put 16. So they cheated to get that answer. There's no way they got that answer from that. That counts. That counts. Pass it forward. Pass it forward. Don't change anything on there. How many questions are here? 19? Minus 2 is still an A. I'll make minus 4 a B. Minus 6 a C. You get me? Well, let me say all the numbers so you guys don't get confused. Minus 1 and 2, A. 3 and 4, B. 5 and 6, C. 7, 8, D. 9, F. You got it? Uh-huh. You get it? You get it? Everybody else? Just put a little F. Who's that? I just want to collect it before people try to cheat. Wait, Kenny was first. Which ones? Like this? Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good too. That's good too. Be nice, Kenny. Bless you. What? Ah, circle it for them. That's a good teacher right there. That's what I would do. If I was grading that and go, wow, they did all the correct. X equals 4, but forgot to circle it, I'll circle it for them. Mark it right. Yeah. That's what I mean by I grade fairly. When I'm there, I grade it on the spot. I don't have like preconceived notions of how I'm gonna grade it. I grade it on the spot. If I think it's wrong or if you cheated in any way, I'll mark it wrong. This is how I grade. All right. All right. Let's stop this recording because now we're gonna record the whole conversation.